You can get some really pretty effects with torn paper. What you need to know before you start tearing paper is that paper, like wood, has a grain. Picture a plank of wood. You know it's going to be easier to cut in one direction with the grain than across. And the same thing is true with paper. You're going to have an easier time tearing in one direction than the other. That tells me that I was just tearing against the grain because it didn't want to tear. Look, when I go this way now and tear, I get sort of an even torn with the grain kind of a thing. So if you just wanted to tear strips of paper, figure out which way the grain is on the paper and you'll be able to control the tear that way. But suppose I wanted to make a nice shape or something more specific, and I want, maybe a wavy line. That's not going to be as easy to control tearing unless I use water. There's water. And I can either use a paintbrush, or if you don't have a paintbrush, use a Q-tip. It's all good. And I'll just describe some kind of a nice curvy line here. So that would not ordinarily be that easy to tear. Now it's a little bit of a waiting game. And also I can see that my brush was a little dry right here, so I'm going to add a little more water. You can do some cool things with this too. Like I could be using watercolor and let this torn edge be of a slightly different color than the rest of the paper. So what I'm showing you is just the very beginning basic stuff. Feel free to get creative and take that wherever you want it. So I'm waiting until I see that it has soaked into the paper, but it hasn't yet started to dry out again. You wait too long, it dries out, and then you're nowhere. So I want to make sure that it's soaked through pretty well here and there. And then just pull it apart, like you're unzipping a zipper. Just pull from the two sides. And you can see in this way, I can make a tear go in whatever direction I want it to go in. When it dries, if I haven't used paint, you won't be able to tell that I had used water at all, as long as my water and my brush is clean. But I'll just have this nice, this is called a deckled edge. And you can see how that's pretty and soft and could be used in many ways. So I need to get a new paper because my old Technique paper got filled up. I'll begin by writing my name and my number at the top. I'm looking through all these pictures that you're going to send me. I don't have to wonder whose techniques these are. This is our 7th technique, so put a little number 7. Write controlled tear. And teeny tiny dots just along the edges. I know you're going to get tired of me saying that, but hopefully it will cause you to remember. The only thing that's terrible about paper and liquid glue is when people put puddles of glue in here and the paper starts buckling and wrinkling everywhere.